Hey, everybody, welcome back to this month's Smart Take. You are in the right place if you are a HubSpot admin, you're thinking about buying HubSpot, or you just want to understand what are the latest product updates from HubSpot over the course of this last month. I'm joined here today with Brian Weddick again for another episode to talk about all the things that came out this last month. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Paul. Love it. Love my monthly dose of product updates. Gives me a chance to dig in, sift through what's been working for folks and what our product team has been up to. So excited to dive in with you again.
So today what we're going to talk through are a couple of updates that go across hubs. So Brian's going to take you through some of the updates in Customer Agent. I'm going to talk about some of the cool new lead scoring and video updates inside of HubSpot. And then you'll be able to understand what are the big updates that came from this last month. Without further ado, let's jump into update number 1. First update we're talking about today is conditional scoring for lead and health scores. The update this month provides some new functionality that really makes it easier for those of you that are managing lead scoring. What this does is it just adds another layer of conditional logic to your lead scoring. So you can add that sort of if-then type of and/or type of functionality into your lead scoring when you're building that out. It makes it easier if you've used lead scoring in the past and you have this very nuanced criteria and you just want to be able to add in a couple other filters here and there within the lead scoring, but maybe you've had to use workflows or lists or other things to be able to manage that. And so this new update just gives you a little bit more flexibility. I just want to show you how this looks inside the app. We'll take you through some quick demos as well today. So when you log into your lead scoring, what you'll see inside here, this is the new functionality, is being able to add some of these conditions right inside of here. And so if you, for example, let's say in your lead scoring model, you would like to be able to add some additional criteria that says if somebody opens between 1 to 3 emails, and they're visiting this page, or they're from this industry, or they're from one of our target accounts, then give them increased amount of points. So that's really what this type of functionality offers you is like that ability to add in more criteria, give you more flexibility within your scoring models.
It's huge, Paul. I think for a lot of folks, the lead scoring in HubSpot has been a long evolution. If you've been with HubSpot for a while, you've seen it move from a property to like its own tool. That's been a big update. And now it's having that extra level of customization that gives you the ability to really dig in and help provide marketing and sales with greater intelligence and automate workflows or help to build different target lists. I'm a big fan of lead scoring just generally as a concept. And it's great that the product team was able to deliver this as an update, which gives folks some stuff they've been asking for in the community forums for a while.
Yeah, and I would also add, this is also great for customer success teams. It's useful for health scoring. So for those of you that maybe score your individual customers, that same criteria applies. So if you have customers and you would like to be able to score them based on their usage data, again, this same conditional scoring applies to that same use case.
I love that. That's cool.
All right, well, let's jump into the next one. We're looking at workflow actions to register a contact to a marketing event. I feel like I've heard requests for this probably for the last decade. Really, HubSpot launched a marketing event object several years ago. And that's also been an evolution of its own, but it's really, if you wanted to be able to associate contacts to some of your events, you essentially needed to use a third-party app like Eventbrite or some other type of tool, or use API to be able to push contacts in to then show how they were registered, when they were registered for your event. A little bit of a clunky experience. And I think that this specific update, which is an action inside of workflows, is going to alleviate that, make it so much easier for those of you that use HubSpot to help run your events. And so how this looks when you're inside of HubSpot is, it's quite simple. If you have your starting criteria, let's say someone fills out a form to come to your event, they don't necessarily have to have gone through Eventbrite or anything at this point. You can essentially go in here and browse the action. You can see add participant to mark, and you can see right inside of here, you can say which event that they signed up for, mark them as registered, and what is the date of that registration. So a lot more flexibility in here and being able to configure this. I just love this update right here. It's going to allow those that are using HubSpot for their events to just be able to use workflows for a lot of this type of simple automation.
I think this goes hand in hand with the current era of marketing and sales. I would say this is more than just a product update. I think in the post-COVID world, folks are kind of getting, and the AI boom, it's hard to know what's real. And it's a lot of alone time if you're working from home, like Paul and I are today. And maybe some of you are as well. I kind of imagine many of you are not sitting in an office. So having that opportunity to be face to face with people, with customers, with prospects, with peers is huge. I've seen a huge uptick in demand and desire for events. HubSpot as a business, we've been holding more events. We obviously have inbound every year, but I just think it's a really important thing to consider. This is not a HubSpot product update, but I think it's kind of a sales and marketing tip that in-person events are something that's generating a lot of buzz and traction. And I'm really glad that the HubSpot product is keeping up to be able to deliver and serve organizations who are trying to really invest in that strategy in 2026 and beyond. Kind of an aside, but ideally, the HubSpot product is able to support you in as many areas of your business as possible. And I think events are huge. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. It's a great quality of life update, and I think you could use this for physical events. You could use this for digital events like webinars. You could even use it if you go to trade shows. We go to Inbound every year. We can now use this for when we come back from Inbound and register all the people that came to our booth as people that came to the event. So again, there's lots of use cases for this. All right, next one, we are looking at video capture. Record videos directly inside of HubSpot. So HubSpot has allowed you to be able to host videos inside of HubSpot. They've had a number of video functionality inside of the platform over time, but you've always needed third-party apps to be able to record videos. There's a number of them out there in the marketplace, and a lot of great ones out there. But HubSpot's just making a lot more efforts into video now, into making it so that whether you're just hosting video, whether you're creating one-to-one video, you've got like a new place where your video team or your person who manages video can now go to this new home base. And so a lot of updates that are happening here. This new update though, specifically is around capturing video directly and recording that inside of HubSpot. And so with this, I'll show you kind of what this update looks like. When you go into content and go to videos, then you go over to add video, and then you can click on record video. And this is the big update right here. You can come in here and then you decide if you want to record microphone, your screen, or anything like that. And then just you can record it all from right inside of here. You can see, and then once this is all done, then it just goes right inside of HubSpot, and you can decide, and you can kind of set the setting inside of there. Do you want to be able to add the advanced functionality, which is tracking of views and being able to see, did certain people watch certain videos? You're gonna have a lot of videos that you maybe marketing videos on your website, and you want to be able to track the number of views that people have watched on that. And so once you have that video inside of here, you can go in and configure that. But this is a first update for this. I think this is just the beginning for HubSpot as it relates to capturing video on your screen and being able to have HubSpot be that tool instead of having to have the number of different third-party video tools for that. So nice update this month on that.
That's huge. I think, yeah, here's my take. Like, I remember growing up, I had iMovie on my first Mac, and I got really excited. Like, the editing tools as well was a big part. I would stitch together clips with my friends. I remember my first time when YouTube came out, and I was always wanted to share YouTube videos or videos like that, and YouTube finally gave me the ability to do it. And I think the difficulty always was views and being able to track who's viewed something from a marketing ROI perspective, and even just ease of use. So all of these features inside of HubSpot makes the life of the marketer and the person recording a whole lot smoother. And, we've highlighted on a Smart Take, maybe 6 months ago or more, some of the editing functionality that's built in HubSpot. So I'm really excited for that because, again, meeting the moment in the digital space, short form video, thinking about TikTok, LinkedIn, even and Instagram, but even LinkedIn these days, video is becoming a really important part of that. And to reduce the number of tools and the time to creation, you don't need Wistia and an extra recording tool and all of that. You can do all of that within the HubSpot subscription you already pay for today.
Absolutely. Yep. It's a great update.
All right, let me show you a couple things that I brought to the table to share with everyone today. So what's new in support and success? I had a couple updates for you, and a couple of these are really built around, I would say, the best of the HubSpot agents today is Customer Agent. I think from an AI perspective, this is functionality that's built into every HubSpot portal, whether you have Service Hub, Marketing Hub, Sales Hub, or otherwise. I think every business can use a Customer Agent. We've talked about it in the past in terms of the original conceived use case of support tickets, helping to disposition questions, answers, deflect stuff that maybe a person doesn't need to take the time to answer because it's simple, and also helps the customer, the prospect, or the person on the other end get an answer quickly and not have to wait. And it also helps to keep the business brand message on point to make sure that answers are consistent, the right documentation is referenced. Now, one of the biggest gripes, let's say, or areas of reluctance that folks have to adopting a customer agent and letting AI take over those conversations is, will it represent my business well? Will it speak to people like I train my people to speak to our customers? And here in this update, giving instructions to customer agent really gives you that ability. In the past, HubSpot gave you a couple token tone pick lists. It was witty, it was casual, it was professional. Okay, what do those even mean? It's kind of hard to, all right, I'm going to pick this one and then you got to test it. And is this actually my business? Now you can write highly detailed custom instructions. If you were to train someone as an individual new person onboarding into your org, you were to give them some instructions, say, hey, this is how we talk to folks on the phones or in chat. Now you can upload that and train the AI on it. There's a couple other features that I'll show you in a quick demo. And I do want to highlight that this is underneath service and customer agent. But the highlight here is that it doesn't have to be all customer support. This can also be on the front page of your website, talking to prospects or visitors, people asking about the pricing catalog or particular features within the product that you offer. And as long as you're putting the knowledge sources together, it can actually reference off of that and can be any type of a customer conversation. But here's the guidelines that you can now edit and write your own. So I was writing something clear, calm, professional. I would encourage you to add pretty descriptive text in here, how your agent sounds in text, including attitude and emotion. You can write the response style, how your agent formats its answer, scripted responses. If there are particular phrases that you want to use, if there are particular phrases you don't want the AI to use, say, oh, this is easy, no worries. If you like that, awesome, include it. If you don't, you can actually exclude it. And additional guardrails and custom information. I will call out that you can apply a template. So these are some of the kind of templated ones: concise, balanced, comprehensive, that you had a pick list for before. So if you like those, boom, you can populate them or maybe make edits. So I want to highlight that here is where you describe it and here's where you test it. All right. So now you made your description, the AI tool ingested that, it's trained. Now you can actually try a couple of those example questions. Maybe if you made an edit, you can try it again and see how it responds. I think this is a huge benefit to customer agent. And I think will actually encourage and help a lot of folks who haven't adopted this yet to take it on. So I hope you take the chance to dive in, play around with it, and maybe post it on one page of your website and see how it works. Hope it works well for you.
And I would add to this as well. We've been using Customer Agent now for about 6 months, and we have seen over time, like we get some amount of queries, people coming to our website that are job seekers or people that are looking to sell us things or sell stuff to us. And we have special instructions for those types of personas as well, because we don't want to use a customer agent to sit there and like try to nurture them to try to buy something. We know that they're looking for a job, so we essentially direct them to our job board. And people that are trying to sell us stuff, we direct them to our partnerships page. And so we really are able to cut the conversations quickly with those folks instead of sitting there and try to have these conversations with them ongoing. So yeah, those are like just a couple of use cases. Think about the people that are filling out forms and chats on your website today and how you could create a better experience for them. So yeah, I would add one more point to this is that, and maybe Brian, I don't want to jump the gun too much on this, but HubSpot just updated their policy on you get a 28-day free trial of a customer agent on your website. So essentially, there's no loss in just being able to test this out on your website just to see if is a customer agent able to triage more conversations that are happening? Is it able to book more meetings for you? So go ahead and test it out. I think I just love the updates that we're seeing in customer agent over the last few months.
That's an incredible plug there, Paul. Thank you for that. That is huge, right? Like customers, you're paying for pro or enterprise, you have free credits. So you can test this out in some limited capacity, but maybe you're testing out the prospecting agent already, or you're testing out data agent. So you don't want to use up all those free credits before you invest in a credit pack once you've truly seen the value. Now, customer agent, you can just run it for free, let it go wild. it's not going to be wild because it's going to be directed and trained by you. I think that's the big thing that in conversations I've had with customers and prospects who are considering this functionality, that's been a big concern. So wanted to highlight that. I will also highlight our friend Kyle Jepsons. Kyle is, he's one of us. He brings product updates via LinkedIn to the HubSpot community. And he did a great one on some of these agent guidelines that I was just talking about, along with this next update under customer agent, which is a little bit of performance scoring to see, okay, what is the agent actually saying to folks? And when it has a positive result, the customer prospect says, yeah, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you. What knowledge source did that customer agent reference to be able to answer that? So you internally as the admin know, okay, this is the source that's really helpful. Let's make sure that that source stays updated. Or if someone says, no, I didn't get the answer that I want. Well, what sources were referenced that weren't able to generate a satisfactory answer? Okay, these are the sources, data sources, knowledge sources that we need to edit and improve to be able to make sure that all of our conversations are resolved with positive NPS. So quick show. I, in my demo portal, haven't set up knowledge sources, but I just want to show you where it lives. So in Customer Agent, we were just under Manage and Guidelines. Now, we don't want to go to there. We want to go over to Performance and Source Usage. So it's the location where that shows up. I think it's really valuable for businesses to understand what content they need to update, maintain, or improve, and also the performance of their agent and what conversations are getting resolved, what was asked, and what was the response. And all of that can be found in this section.
Yep, super useful. You'll find certain pages on your website that are getting the most citations, or you can also within Customer Agent, sometimes you don't have the content created yet, but you can create what is called short answers. And so if someone has a quick question, you can give them a short answer. And oftentimes those like quick questions are, you don't need to go create a web page. You just create a short answer. And some of those things, when you look at SmartBug's data, those short answers get cited over and over and over again. So again, HubSpot makes it flexible to be able to cite existing content or just nuggets of content or PDFs, anything that you decide to reference in there.
So you call it documents, PDFs, files, and the short answers if you know what your customers are going to ask. Awesome. All right. What's new for admins and operations, folks? This one is a big update for folks for whom they have a larger team size or they're new to HubSpot and need to be able to migrate a bunch of user information in. You now have the ability to do imports by teams, to be able to import teams in a hierarchical format and super dramatically reduce the time to set up. It used to be pretty difficult to go user by user, team by team, especially if you had hundreds, could take hours, days to manually configure certain folks on certain teams. Now, boom, import, done. And I think the big one here is that you can actually have that nested hierarchy built into this as well, not just to say, these are East Coast, West Coast, but you can also say East Coast, North America, and build it all out, import via CSV and call it a day. So I think this, for folks who have had to click through, manually click a bunch, definitely a big update. This is in public beta for all products, all plans. And I think it's a really important one to call out just because it's a pain point for folks.
I would also add in here too, it's like this is useful for new customers that are coming onto HubSpot that maybe have 100 or 50 users on various teams. It's also useful for existing HubSpot customers who go through reorgs or mergers of other companies. And you come out the other end of those mergers and you've got a new org chart and you need to go back in and like update user permissions and teams and everything like that. This is also useful for that. So I think it's not just for net new. You can really gain benefits depending on where you are in your company life cycle.
That's an awesome call out. Thanks, Paul. I think I definitely appreciate that as well, the concept of a reorg. That happens more often than maybe purchasing new software does. Quick additional pieces just on team management. Our friend Kyle posted the other day that underneath the users and teams page, now it can actually operate like any other index page. You can edit the columns that you see, run advanced filters. So we're not just working off of users, teams, seats, etc., and then going in and seeing what permissions, particular, skills, if you have that built in, or access. You can now run filters and be able to see all your users. So it makes this user interface and management a lot more approachable and powerful. So I just want to call that out too. It's not a particular update that was shouted out in our deck, but something that I think layers nicely with, hey, we're making the life of this admin a lot easier for changing dynamics amongst your users in your business.
All right. Well, we have reached the end of the road here today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. A couple of video series that we run outside of Smart Take is Mastering HubSpot AI. So if you want to dig into HubSpot's AI even more than what we're able to cover in here, check out our latest episode talking about the ChatGPT MCP server. We walk through that. What does that mean? How do you use it? What are the use cases for that? Secondly, we have the Smart Take Zoom In series. If you like these types of episodes, but you want a little bit more information on some of these features, we dive into the features even deeper. So maybe 10, 15 minutes on some of these individual features and really break them out so you can understand how to implement them and what are the benefits of them. Last thing I'll give to you is our AI readiness assessment. We just launched this. If you're an organization and trying to understand how you get better in implementing and making your staff more AI fluent, take our AI readiness assessment. It'll show you sort of the areas of strengths and weaknesses for your team. And from there, our team would be happy to give you a free consultation and just talk about how SmartBook can better upskill your team, bring some of these systems to life, and just help better educate your overall team. And so that's really everything we have for today. Our next episode, April 15th. We hope you join us again to see all the new updates that are coming out from March. And Brian, thanks for joining us today. A really great episode covering a lot of awesome features. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Thanks so much, Paul. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you for watching.